Hey, so yesterday we were praying for contentment. And now, in our Praying for Your Husband series, we're going to be moving on and talking about some of the more physical and logistical things, because those are important to be praying for too. Up until now, we've been focusing more on the spiritual stuff. But if you think about it, even the Lord's Prayer, hasn't it? Give us this day our daily bread. It's important to be praying for just the practical stuff as well. So today we're going to be spending some time praying for our husbands at their jobs. And one of the things that can be a problem is that a lot of people have their sense of self-worth tied up in their job performance or how much money they make or things like that. I know when our middle son was born, he had a lot of health issues, and my husband had to drop out of school and quit his job, and we had to move into this little charity home for about 6 months, and it was by far the darkest point in our marriage. And a lot of that was because my husband just felt like everything had been taken away from him. So like as a wife, I was a stay-at-home mom. It was kind of, I'm staying home, taking care of my kids, but that taking care of my kids no matter what. My husband, his whole life was kind of wrapped up in getting his degree. And I'm not saying that these are bad things at all, but it really threw him for a loop. And if your marriage has gone through any periods of unemployment, in addition to the stress of just not knowing how the bills are going to get paid, there is that real emotional trauma or trial that can come when you lose your sense of self-worth and have to find it, outside of work, which, yes, ideally we should be doing. But I think it is a particularly hard thing for men in general. So tying back to what we were talking about yesterday in contentment, we definitely want to be praying that our husbands are content in their job. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't be pursuing, better work, promotions and stuff like that, but that they would find joy in their day-to-day work, no matter what that is. And if for some reason your husband's maybe not in the line of work that he would really want to be, or that you feel God has called him to, that's definitely something that you can start praying for God to open doors for a job change or a transfer or a promotion. It's great to be praying for those things. In addition, let's remember to be praying for your husband's business. Whether he is the boss, he has a boss, he's totally self-employed, no matter what, you can be praying blessing over your husband's business and asking God to help that business prosper. I think of Joseph, and when he was working for Potiphar, God made Potiphar successful just because Joseph was working there. And I think that we can ask God to give our husbands' workplaces that same sense of blessing. We could also be praying specifically just for God to continue to provide financially through your husband's work, that your husband would have health so that he could continue his job, that he would just enjoy his work, have good relationships with his coworkers. These are all things that we can be praying for our husband at their place of work. Another thing to add, just another layer on there, is for your husband to really start thinking of his job as his mission field. So I think a lot of people are just kind of programmed. You go in and you earn your daily wage and you go home. But whatever it is that we're doing, God has called us to that position. And so whatever line of work you're in, God is bringing you into contact with people who can use encouragement or witnessing or prayer. And so, especially I would say if your husband's in the job that he's not necessarily happy with, I think if you begin to pray and ask God to, open new doors for a better situation for sure. But until then, help your husband to live out his work with kind of a mission mindset, like my job is my mission field. That can really help. So a reminder for closing is this verse from Colossians: whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for men, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as your reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. So whether your husband's working for a terrible boss or, whatever, if God can remind him throughout the day he's working for Christ, I think that can help give some encouragement. And, probably, I'm assuming, kind of the intricacies of your husband's job. So you can be praying for the details of that, asking God to help your husband be successful. in what he's doing, and that he would be doing it for the glory of God. So let's go ahead and pray. God, I pray that you would bless my husband at his job. I pray that you would be bringing him in contact with people who could use an encouraging word or to learn about you. I pray that my husband would be a good witness at his workplace. I pray just for the logistics and abundance and provision for my husband's business. Just pray that things would run smoothly there and be blessed, and that my husband would be a blessing to his company. I pray that he would have renewed joy in his work. I pray that you would help him through whatever job stress he might have, to just lay his cares upon you. And I pray that you would be just opening the exact door so that he would be doing exactly the work that you have called him to, and that he would know that, and that he would be content. I pray that you would continue to provide through his work and continue to give him the strength that he needs to do a great job. Amen.